I came across this video right here, the CIA's secret obsession with the Ark. And let's take a look.
What if the most powerful, most revered, and most terrifying artifact in human history wasn't lost to the sands of time, but was actually located by a top-secret government program? A program that didn't use satellites, or ground-penetrating radar, or even traditional archaeology. Instead, they used something far more extraordinary: the human mind. Psychics. For centuries, the Ark of the Covenant, the golden chest said to house the Ten Commandments and carry the very presence of God, has remained one of humanity's most enduring mysteries. Its power, its disappearance, its very existence have fueled countless legends and quests. But what if the greatest quest of all wasn't by adventurers like Indiana Jones, but by intelligence agents operating in the shadows of the Cold War? Today, we delve into a series of astonishing declassified documents from the Central Intelligence Agency, files that reveal a clandestine project born from the paranoia of the Cold War that took an audacious, almost unbelievable detour, a psychic hunt for the Ark of the Covenant, and what they claim to find will challenge everything you thought you knew about this legendary relic. Prepare to enter a world where intelligence meets the paranormal, where secrets are unburied, and where the most sacred object on Earth might just have been pinpointed by a mind's eye. To understand the gravity of this declassified revelation, we must first understand the object of their pursuit. The Ark.
Lowe's and Home Depot both can't stand when you do this, but there's nothing they can do to stop you.
Of the Covenant. For the ancient Israelites, it was more than just a sacred box. It was the earthly throne of God, a direct conduit to the divine, crafted from acacia wood, overlaid with pure gold, and topped with two cherubim whose wings overshadowed a golden mercy seat. It was meticulously designed according to God's own instructions to Moses on Mount Sinai. The Ark was the spiritual and military heart of the Israelite nation. It led them across the Jordan River, parting its waters. It preceded them in battle, causing the walls of Jericho to crumble at its presence. It struck down enemies, brought plagues upon those who dared to profane it, and even caused the Philistine idol Dagon to repeatedly fall before it in worship. Its power was not merely symbolic, it was terrifyingly literal. Touching it without proper authorization meant instant death, as exemplified by Uzzah, who merely reached out to steady it and was struck down on the spot. For centuries, the Ark resided within the Holy of Holies in Solomon's Temple in Jerusalem, the holiest place on earth, accessible only to the high priest once a year. It was the pulsating heart of Israelite faith, but then it vanished. After the Babylonian conquest of Jerusalem in 586 BC and the subsequent destruction of the First Temple, the Ark is simply gone from historical and biblical records. Its fate remains one of the greatest archaeological and theological riddles. Was it captured by the Babylonians, hidden away for safekeeping, destroyed? For over 2.5 millennia, the answer has eluded us. Fast forward to the mid-20th century. The world is locked in the ideological struggle of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union are engaged in a desperate arms race, a space race, and a technological race. But beneath the surface, another more esoteric race was unfolding, the psychic race. Reports from behind the Iron Curtain suggested that the Soviets were pouring vast resources into paranormal research, particularly into concepts like extrasensory perception, telekinesis, and remote viewing. The idea was simple. If an enemy could spy on your secrets...
Okay, all I see right here is snakes in a pyramid, and I'm familiar with the signs and the symbolisms, and I'm also familiar with brainwashing and the things that they give us to deter us from, learning about ourselves and reality. And to me, this is some more of the crap that they give us, to deter us from reality. And this Ark, they touched it, and somebody got struck down, and it parted the Red Seas, and we hearing all type of crap. And to me, that's what I get with this. How they make these illustrious stories to keep us intrigued in fuckery, basically. That's all I see, you know. And I stopped right here because I'm like, can you not see the snakes? Can you not see the pyramid? Can you not see the symbolisms? Can you not see? It's just a bunch of crap. First, they told us that the people needed the manna, and God separated the seas and everything, and that's why they was able to go through and walk through, you know. But now it was the ark that did all of this, and this ark was sent by a God. And I'm like, why would God have to send a box to people to do stuff? And why would God have to send a box to people they had to carry all around and nobody could touch? I'm like, this story seems crazy. And then you say, oh, the CIA with the eagle right there, another symbolism as their billboard. I'm just like, what are we looking at? And what are we intaking in our minds? And how are we looking at this? Are you looking at this like it makes sense? Because to me, it don't make sense. You know, all I keep seeing is how they keep fooling the humans and keeping the humans trapped in illusion and delusion. Here, let's continue.
Or even influence your leaders with their minds alone, it constituted a terrifying new form of warfare. Terrified of falling behind, the United States.
And all I heard was how they keep messing with the mind and how that's causing a terrifying warfare. Because everything that they do is to mess with your mind, your brain, your thoughts, your ability to see reality, your ability to see what's going on, to put one and one together, your ability to see that something is wrong, these stories don't make sense, what is going on, and how can they do anything to keep you in a brain fog, brainwashed. And then they come up with these stories right here to help you. They have studied the human from embryo. They have studied the human from a cellular level. They have studied the thinking of the human. That's why we live in this environment that we live in now, to keep the human confused, turned around. Everything from seasons to holidays to religion, all of this is to keep the human confused here, where they don't use their own brain. They rely on everything that is given, and they're given government, seasons, religion, holidays. They're given everything here. They are not equipped to do anything on their own. Everything is given to the human here to destroy them, delude them, and keep them under persuasion. Everything here is given to keep the human deluded. Let's continue with the delusion.
Primarily through the CIA and the Defense Intelligence Agency, launched its own highly classified programs. What began as Project Stargate in the early 1970s, later evolving into Sunstreak, Grill Flame, and others, sought to determine the practical applications and dangers.
All I see is an eye. They keep showing you who is giving you these delusions with these symbolisms. Okay.
Of psychic phenomena. The core technique they explored was remote viewing, a purported ability to describe a distant or hidden target without the use of normal senses. Subjects, or remote viewers, would be given coordinates or a target name, then describe what...
Another symbolism's right there, the one eye. Okay, let's keep listening because they're telling us how they have been targeting the human.
They perceived through their minds, often sketching details. For over 2 decades, these programs consumed millions of taxpayer dollars, engaging some of the most gifted and controversial psychic individuals of the era. They were tasked with everything from locating downed aircraft to monitoring Soviet military bases to even peering into secret underground facilities.
And first of all, they don't need no psychics to find no aircraft or nothing. They do everything. They know where all the aircrafts that are missing are. And, I mean, like, they don't have no people piled up in a corner talking about they is touching each other and having psychic illusions trying to find shit. They already know where everything is. They do everything. Here. They give you everything here to keep the human diluted. Let's continue.
But among the myriad of targets they explored, one stands out as truly astonishing. An ancient enigma amidst the modern-day spy games, the Ark of the Covenant. Within the vast trove of declassified CIA documents, specifically those related to the Project Sunstreak files, a fascinating trail emerges. Multiple reports detail remote viewing sessions.
And can you see that right there? Again, they're giving you the one-eye symbol, showing you what all of this is, where it is all based in. Illusion, the one-eye symbol. Illusion, delusion, to confuse the human and keep them intrigued and crap.
Specifically targeting the Ark of the Covenant. Imagine the scene. A remote viewer, perhaps in a sterile room miles away, given a target, not a coordinates, but a concept. The Ark of the Covenant.
A concept. Let's hear that. They're giving you a concept. A concept, something that you can roll around in your brain. And it's a diluted concept to keep you in illusion, in delusion.
Particular session documented in a declassified report is chilling in its specificity. The remote viewer was tasked with locating the Ark. Their perception, as recorded in the official transcripts, was vivid. They described a large rectangular gold object, undeniably matching descriptions of the Ark. But crucially, they went beyond the object itself. They saw its location. The reports indicate the remote viewer pinpointed a location near Mount Sinai. They described the Ark being...
They located something at Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai. Okay.
buried underground in a protective vault, possibly beneath the ruins of an ancient square structure or temple. One report even went so far as to suggest a strong dark energy emanating from the area, hinting at the Ark's famed power or protective mechanisms. The details given were startlingly precise. Specific measurements, the presence of certain geological features, even the nature of the rock formations surrounding the hidden vault. It wasn't vague general.
And we have to remember, here they make the formations. They built up this world. They make everything. The landscape, the rivers, the oceans, everything. They develop this place right here and put whatever they want, wherever they want.
It was an attempt at topographical precision perceived by the mind. Another declassified account from a different...
Perceived by the mind. That is all they are attacking, is the mind.
Remote viewer, while perhaps less detailed, corroborated key elements. They too described the Ark as being deeply buried in a secure, man-made chamber, implying a deliberate concealment rather than a natural loss. The consistency across different viewers, trained independently, was something the program managers often highlighted as evidence of remote viewing's
program managers, because that's what we have here on Earth. Programmed managers. They have managers out here to program you.
Potential. If two different psychics operating independently describe similar specific details about a hidden object, it certainly raises eyebrows.
If you have an EBT card. You're leaving money on the table if you skip this.
It's crucial to inject a dose of skepticism. The remote viewing programs, despite their intriguing reports, were ultimately deemed unreliable by the scientific community. Critics point to issues like subconscious cueing, where viewers might pick up subtle hints, or cold reading, where general description
Subconscious cueing. That's what they have done to the human with everything that they have given the human to view. Subconscious crap to keep the human deluded and eluded.
descriptions can be interpreted as specific hits. The overall lack of repeatable, statistically significant results led to the programs being defunded and officially shut down in the mid-1990s. The official conclusion was that remote viewing was not reliable for intelligence gathering. So, what are we to make of these declassified reports concerning the Ark? Are they simply artifacts of a desperate Cold War experiment, riddled with wishful thinking and self-deception? Or do they contain a tantalizing kernel of truth buried within the government's secret archives? If these psychic perceptions were even partially accurate, it opens up a profound new chapter in the Ark story. Why haven't archaeologists acted on this information? The answer is complex. Firstly, remote viewing is not considered a scientifically valid method for archaeological reconnaissance. No reputable excavation would begin based solely on psychic claims. Secondly, the geopolitical realities of searching for the Ark in such a sensitive region are immense. Mount Sinai itself is a deeply sacred and often contested area, making
And why? Why is this big pile of rock sacred? Because it's the Mount Sinai rock. Okay.
large-scale, unapproved archaeological digs practically impossible. Furthermore, even if the information was compelling, the CIA's primary objective was intelligence gathering, not religious archaeology. The fact that
The CIA's primary thing is to keep the humans deluded and eluded with their information. Okay. And they're not worried about religion because religion already has the human eluded and diluted. And I guess that's why they're coming up with this Ark of Covenant, which is part of religion, since they're not using it. Okay.
the Ark was located by their psychics may have been noted, but it wasn't necessarily a priority for a physical recovery operation. The very act of declassifying these documents, however, forces us to confront the audacious scope of the government's Cold War ambitions and the enduring power of ancient mysteries to captivate even.
And look at all of these symbolisms, and look at all of these things. What is these things right here? What is it looking like? Lizard things or whatever. What is this? Okay.
Than the most hardened intelligence agencies. The Ark of the Covenant remains elusive. Its power, its legend, its ultimate fate continue to fuel scholarly debate, religious devotion, and countless treasure hunts. But thanks to these astonishing declassified CIA documents, we now know that even the most secretive corners of government.
And look at this symbolism right here. This eagle and this star. We now know that this is just some more illusion and delusion to keep the brain focused on crap that's irrelevant to the human.
Government have been drawn into the ancient enigma. They tried to find it with their minds. And what they claimed to see? Well, that's a secret that the sands of time and perhaps the depths of the human psyche are still waiting to fully reveal. What do you believe? Do these declassified reports hold the key to finding the Ark of the Covenant?
What I believe is we're not looking for the Ark of the Covenant. I'm not. We don't give a damn about that. You know, all we care about is the truth. Get rid of the delusions and the illusions that the government, that so many love, are giving us. I just want us to be able to see crap. You know, use our brains. Stop relying on crap like this. The CIA, which you see the symbolisms. It's an eagle with a big giant star, and the star represents the fallen. all of the things that they give us to be intrigued by is just things to, like I'm gonna keep repeating, to keep us eluded and deluded from the truth. Take in what they're saying and then break it down for yourself and see the crap that it truly is. Y'all be safe out here. I love you.